Holy crap, you guys are back for another episode of Half Serious, and this week it's a Fluffer episode. Now, when we did our first Fluffer episode, some of you guys didn't know exactly if I knew what it meant. So just to be clear on what it actually means, a fluffer is a person employed to keep male actors aroused between scenes. Now, that's not what I'm going to be doing this week for this episode, but I found it funny and a half serious appropriate to call it a fluffer episode since it's a mini episode between the bigger episodes that I usually post on Tuesday. So every now and then I'll toss one of these Q&A sessions into a Tuesday episode, and they will be quote-unquote fluffer episodes. So to move forward, we do have our website up and running, halfseriouspodcast.com. And if you guys have a friend that you know should be on this thing that probably is shy about it, like, no, I don't have a story to tell, and you freaking know that they have a story to tell because they're really interesting, send them my email address or send them this podcast and tell them that they should be on the thing. Tess at halfseriousllc.com. We have a ton of interesting guests coming up, and I'd love to have a ton more because I got to do another batch recording here after a few. So send them my email address, and I would love to have them on. Also, we do have a new shirt design that I'm getting ready to post up tonight. By the time this is out, it should be good to go. I'm excited about it. I think it looks freaking cool. Hopefully you guys will like it too. If you think it's shitty, let me know. This is about you guys, for you guys to have this stuff. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, let me know. On to question 1. Do you miss being a cop? The adrenaline rush everyone thinks they will miss. Short answer is yes. I miss the adrenaline rush of stuff. I miss like, oh shit, we almost died, that sort of feeling. But when it comes down to it, you can find a much healthier outlet for that stuff when you get out of policing. It's those that still need that don't, that tend to lean on alcohol, drugs, or unhealthy ways to actually get that adrenaline rush or numb the feeling of needing the adrenaline rush. Now, I do Muay Thai. I'm not saying I'm great at it, but it still is somewhat of a violent, controlled act in order to get my fix of adrenaline. I surf skate. Again, I'm shitty at it, but I do it because it's something to kind of keep me moving and keep me interested in just moving through life in a positive way, I guess. So there's 1,000 things that you guys can do to actually be productive in your adrenaline rushes. Now, is it going to compare to, going 100+ miles an hour chasing after somebody? No. But this will actually give you a different community outside of policing when you're ready to move outside of that realm, and give you enough of a fix to then learn how to move forward, to then learn how to live without getting those near-death experiences kind of thing. And eventually, it's just your new norm. It's your new norm. But yeah, I still miss it. What is a piece of advice you would pass along to new female officers? Now, when I started, there wasn't that many female officers out there. There is a ton more now. So my advice to myself would have been a little bit different, but to other female officers, I'd say just don't focus on being a female cop. Just be a freaking cop. Now, yeah, females and males are completely different when it comes to a lot of things, but just be you in the job is what I'm saying. Don't be a freaking wuss when it comes to stuff, and don't try to be one of the men. Just go out there and be a strong freaking woman. But I'd say that to any cadet out there, just go be the best version of you. And don't run away from a hard-ass call. When the shit starts flying, go to it. And eventually, your pattern of response, your pattern of stepping up when things are happening, then you'll get the respect and stuff that you deserve, and you'll be able to continue on through that career. Now, this isn't something that you could just start to do and then just teeter off and be like, okay, well, I did my one brave thing. Now I can just be in the background and just scream help on the radio when somebody's trying to strangle me through my car and not actually apprehend the person myself. No, you need to go fucking to work every damn day. Every damn day. And I'll say that's kind of the bad thing maybe that women still fight for maybe, is that I think that we continually feel like we have to prove ourselves day in and day out. And you know what? I'm okay with that because maybe we do. Maybe that makes us better because of it. Also, pack those little mini OB tampons. Just put them in your bulletproof vest, stack them somewhere in your uniform because they're easy to hide, and then you always got a couple hidden away somewhere. Because those giant ones, those ones with applicators, are freaking shitty to stuff in your uniform somewhere. But yeah, that's about it. How did you get the name of your podcast? Half Serious was thought up because of the tagline that we have, trauma, grit, and gallows humor. And I kind of feel like we have to live life half seriously. We can't take everything as serious as a heart attack every single time. And that doesn't mean that this stuff isn't serious. It does, but we have to learn to laugh and to love life through all the traumatic events, because life is literally gonna fucking kill you. You are gonna die. We're all gonna die, unless there's something about some of my audience members I'm not aware of, but that is the end all. So we cannot take it serious all of the damn time, or it will kill us long before it's supposed to. So that is why I call it half serious, because we're recognizing these traumatic and these horrible stories in people's lives, but also recognizing grit and just the laughter, and even though it's very dark humor at times, that can come along with it. So that is the premise of half serious. How do you stay human, not jaded, when dealing with the worst of humanity? I don't know. Yes, I have no idea. Half of us have to use an anchor. Some people have a spouse that's not in policing or family members that they associate with. But it is extremely hard not to, because imagine that you're in an arena, and in this arena, every single motherfucker wants to kill you, hate you, cuss at you, spit at you, everything. And then you have a few on the sidelines, admin, supervisors, whatever, they're dictating everything that you're doing and saying, hey, that's wrong, you're not doing this correct. Like, yeah, people hear the audience, right? Maybe there's, but we are, if we are standing in the middle of that arena, we are very unaware of what's going on in the audience. Every now and then we'll hear something, but that's about it. And to me, that's kind of what it is when you're a cop. The audience is the massive amount of people that are maybe rooting on cops, or like, yeah, law enforcement, all right. But we don't really interact with them at all, because we're standing in the middle of this arena with all of these people that fucking hate us, and then all the ones around us get admin, and yes, I was admin when I left out, but being admin, supervisors, whatever, that are then yelling at you and telling you how to correct the problem that you're in right now and what you did wrong with whatever you're doing. So it is extremely hard to recognize the good that's out there. It is. But to me, the longer I was in policing, I would see some of those kids come back around, and I had a few that maybe I influenced one way or the other. I don't know. I don't remember them, but they lived on some of the streets that I hit really hard as a rookie cop. And then I'd see them, when I was a supervisor or later on in my career, and they'd say, man, you're the reason we left that street. And now I'm doing good, da 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 da. And you get all these positive tales from people. And I know a few cops that have had those same experiences. So that, and then every now and then when the public does come out and you feel like they're actually supporting you, those are the things that kind of keep you grounded. Now, the best advice is still to go out and socialize with people that aren't police, because you'll find, like, socialize people that aren't police out on either different sporting events or hobbies, however, but you need to go do something outside of policing, and then maybe not identify yourself as a cop, so you could just interact with people like other normal people do. And that's how you kind of stop from getting jaded and just thinking that everybody's out to get you all of the damn time. But that's just my 2 cents on that. I'm sure somebody has a much better way to put that. Next question. What is one thing that you wish you knew at the beginning of your career that would have made a huge difference? There's a lot of things that probably would have made a huge difference. I made a lot of mistakes in my career. I was far from perfect. But one of my biggest mistakes was one of my very good friends I loved to death. He called me. He was a Navy SEAL at the time. He called me and he said, hey, I'm in wherever. It wasn't that far away. It was like a 45-minute drive. I'm here. Can you take off and come see me? Me and all the guys are out here partying. And I was like, I could have probably taken off work, but I was so scared of how that would look. I was like, I don't want to take off. I'm fairly new. And so I didn't take off. And that was really the last time that I would have gotten to see him. So he died. It was years later, but that was the only time that I really knew that he was back and could hang out, and that I could hang out with him. And I decided to choose work over that. And I've regretted it ever since. Yeah. But I would say to have your commitments always outweigh your policing career. You need, and that seems to be a commonality with every answer I'm giving, but you need to be able to build a life outside of policing. I'm talking about relationships in in, marriage, dating, all the other stuff, but also just friendships, sporting events, hobbies, freaking anything. You have to be able to build this life. And it seems so impossible, right? Because if you're a cop, you're working so much freaking overtime more than likely, and you're so exhausted and you don't want to socialize with people because you're just tired of people in general because you've dealt with them all day. I'm saying like once a week, once every 2 weeks, make some effort to get out there and do something and choose something other than policing to do every couple of weeks. Because I did a very poor job of that to start. And then eventually I learned once I got out. But especially as a rookie cop, I hung out with cops all the time. I did a really bad job of that. What made you interested in podcasting? Well, I've said this before, and I think I said it on the website, but when I had a hard problem last, decade or something like that of policing, where my head would not stop. Like I could not turn the bitch off, just keep freaking going. And when I got to be with the academy for a while, one of my buddies listened to podcasts. Like I'd listen to them, but I didn't listen to a whole bunch. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start listening to those when I run. And it was the only thing that I found that could actually silence my head for a little bit, because it was always something I had to do, something I had to think about, something I had to work through. And podcasting kind of made me think about other things and also taught me things. Depending on what kind of podcast you listen to, you can listen to educational ones, you can listen to ones that just validate the feelings that you have, all the other stuff. And that's what podcasting did to me. So although I love listening to music still when I run, but if I do a really long run, I will tune into a podcast and zone out and learn something while I'm running and just turn off all of the thoughts in my head. So that is why I decided to start this channel when I retired, because it gave something to me to let me continue on through that career while I was still in it. So I'm kind of giving it back in a way, while also hopefully respecting the people that are coming on and the stories that they're telling. What is one thing that has changed about your young self to now that you wish you still had? That's a hard one. Because I'm the type now where I just don't regret what I've done, and any path that I've taken, there was a reason why I made that choice at the time. So I don't really, whatever has changed, I'm good with it. Like, I'm good with the age that I am. I'm good with the way that my body works right now. Like, yeah, does shit hurt a lot more than it did when I was, in my 20s? Yeah, it does. But also, I earned that stuff. I hurt because I did a lot of stuff, or because I tried something that was a little risky and maybe broke some shit. But damn, I learned some lessons and I got some stories. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what it's about. At the end of the day, when I'm sitting there, drinking Metamucil, I want to be able to know, fuck, I had some good ass stories. So I don't wish anything that I could get from my younger self, I don't think. What is something that you would tell a young person just starting in a leadership position? So I go off on leadership quite a bit on here, but I will say the biggest thing that I have a problem with is a lot of leaders thinking that they're competent in everything just because they're over it, when that's not the case whatsoever. If you are a young leader trying to get into a leadership position, or about to be in a leadership position, you need to train enough, and I've said this 1,000 times, you need to train enough so you can have confidence in your team's competence. Confidence in their competence. It doesn't mean that you're going to be this me, or you're going to be the person that is the best at everything. And honestly, by the time you're in a leadership role, you shouldn't be the best at stuff, because you shouldn't have the time to train with 12 different units every single fucking hour of the day. That is their specialty. That's what they should get to do. Should you take the time to go learn about them? Yeah. But I want to know, like, if I'm over a bunch of teams, I want to train enough with them to know where their heart and head is at when it comes to this stuff. So once you can read your people, and again, you have confidence in their competence, then you know where their decision-making process is. So you, as a leader, can make a decision off of that. Now, if you don't have confidence in their competence, then maybe you need to go get them some different training, or maybe you need to switch out some team members, or what have you. But this isn't just law enforcement specific. I'm talking about any realm whatsoever. If you can't have confidence in what they're doing, then it's time to change it out, change the guards, what have you. So as a brand new leader, go out there, learn your teams. Take the time. Don't make instant decisions, because some of those people have been there for a very long fucking time, and there's probably 1,000 different reasons why they're making the decisions that they're making. So sit down and take the time to learn each of your teammates and a little bit about their background. And then when it comes to the shit hitting the fan or whatever, you're going to know a lot more about the background of their decisions. And you're going to know why these decisions are being made from a team. You may not know how they're going to execute them, and you may not know, if everything is definitely the best course of action, but you can make a decision on everything that they're giving to you. And then you can say, okay, I'm going to make a command decision, and this is the way that we're going to go with this. And you'll be able to trust the team that picks it up and runs with it. And that's all you can do. You cannot micromanage the shit out of your teams. But yeah, sorry, I get passionate about that stuff because we have a lot of really bad leaders that come out here and do stuff because they think that because they're a leader that they are the expert in every fucking thing, and that is so far from the truth. If you're an expert in anything, it should be reading your people and knowing the rules, regulations, standard operating procedures, all that other stuff that has to do with the supervisory or leadership role, not the task at hand that person should be the skilled one on. But you're going to be coming with some background on some stuff. But by the time you're in leadership role, that expertise has expired because you are not able to keep it up. Everything changes with time. Have there been times when you wanted to stop podcasting? Well, yeah, but I like it. I mean, just like there's times I wanted to stop a lot of stuff, but just like anything, usually when you're getting really fucking tired and you're like, I need to stop, that's exactly when you need to keep freaking going. Now I don't run a whole bunch anymore. I run top out of 8 miles and a slow 8 miles. But anybody that's done the super long distances, or even if you've just done a half marathon, or even if you've just done 3 miles and all you've done before is 1 mile, no matter what it is, at some point you hit that wall and you're like, shit, I can't run anymore. I got to stop and walk. But if you're able to mentally push past that, you're going to be totally fine for the next 3 to 5 miles because you've reached that wall, you got over it, and now you can carry on. And that analogy applies to life in general as well, I think, through my experiences. If you're actually able to push through that little bit of tiredness or fed upness, whatever, and you're actually able to push through it and get past it, then the rest of it's going to come a whole lot easier. Maybe you're getting ready to take off. Maybe if you, are a YouTuber and you're on a YouTube channel, God, I'm so tired of posting this shit every fucking day. Cool. Keep posting, and by the time you're getting ready to give up, keep going, and then you're probably getting ready to make it. I don't know. I haven't made it. I'm just out here doing this thing, but I'm sure that it's the same freaking thing as it is in sports. So it also is very good for your mental well-being. If you teach your mind that you can keep freaking going when you want to stop, and that's with podcasting too, any kind of hobby, anything, you can learn you can do a lot more than you think that you can. But yeah, so short answer, yes, I've thought about quitting before, but I always kind of like that part when I'm like, oh no, I'm going to quit because then I get to say, no, fuck you, keep going. So I just have this inner monologue that goes on. But no, overall, I really enjoy this, and I'm going to continue to do this. I've got a timeline for myself to see where I'm at after a certain timeline. And if we get there, then I'll keep going after that as well. That is pretty much it with the questions. There's a few more, but I'm not going to keep this episode super long because it is just a Fluffer episode. If you guys have questions, email me, message me, all that other stuff. For some reason, there's not a lot of banter on the comment section. I get a lot of DMs and that sort of stuff, but I don't know. I guess people like to keep stuff private, which I completely get and empathize with. Also, and I know you guys hate fucking hearing this, but if you could interact with the podcast somehow, write something, write a comment on it, do a little review on it, something like that, that keeps this thing going and also lets me know what you guys want or what you guys need, all that other good stuff. All right, that's it. You guys have a freaking phenomenal week, and I will see you on the next full episode.